joined by Jan Randolph, Head of Sovereign Risk Group at IHS Global Insight. Hi, Jan. What do you think the chances are of Abu Dhabi sovereign wealth fund buying a stake in BP?
I think it's pretty high, actually. BP's got to raise some money fairly quickly, roughly 10 billion. The banks look a bit too stretched, nursing their own balance sheets, so they're surprise, they're turning to sovereign wealth funds. In the Middle East, many of the sovereign wealth funds, well, the export surpluses have been rising again, so they're flush with cash, ready to buy. BP's got long historic roots with the UAE, Abu Dhabi. The first concession was given to BP in the 1930s. And Abu Dhabi in particular is looking, in terms of its strategy, convincing ways in which it could sew up a deal which would lead to economic diversification or economic development. And BP has that on offer. I mean, it's got the skills, the experience.
So BP brings its expertise, so it benefits both parties.
Absolutely. I mean, BP's got tremendous experience and skills in the harder to get oil.
Of course.
And it's learning the hard way in some cases. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for, you know, strategic fit here on both sides. There's the obvious oil swap situation.
Yeah.
You know, they could swap each other's oil to each other's customers that are close to market.
That would reduce costs, wouldn't it?
Reduce transport costs. Yeah. That's the obvious one. But yes, there's technical skills benefit, and Abu Dhabi is very keen to do that kind of deal. It's done that before.
Does it mean if Abu Dhabi takes a stake that all takeover talk is off the table or not from ExxonMobil or companies of such a nature? Well,
you know, BP already has a keystone sovereign wealth fund stakeholder in the form of the Kuwaiti investment fund. Another one would only you know, keep its long-term future secure, and it does ward off a takeover talk.
BP, how do you think it's looking right now? I mean, the shares have rebounded from down 50% to about down 36, 37% from when this all kicked off, Jan. I mean, what sort of price would Abu Dhabi or another sovereign wealth fund have to pay, and what size stake might they be interested in buying?
I think we're getting closer. I think what we've got to watch is the total liability, really, from this disaster. And, you know, if the cap works, we're beginning to see it coming to an end. We can scale the size of the issue, the problem, and therefore work out the actual cost. Once you have that, then you can complete the equation and get to a better sense of where share prices should go. I think we're nearing that situation, and you know that is the right time for an investor to come in. When
not now. You've got to wait until we know what liabilities BP faces.
Yeah, I think you know, any investor has to sense the scale of the situation, i.e., ultimately the liability. And I think BP wants to have a cap on the total liability in the US. Once it senses that, you can get a better gauge for working out all the other parts of the equation, including the share price.
Sovereign wealth funds did bad out of Barclays, didn't they? During the financial crisis.
Yeah, I mean, the Kuwaitis did. The Qataris did quite well out of that. I mean, they came in early. They came in at the right time, rather, and left at the right time. It could be well suited now for another investor to come in. You know, with the global economy slowly getting back on track, oil prices having firmed a little bit further, you know, Asian demand being very strong, probably past the worst of the credit crunch and the global recessions around the world. It could be looking a good time, an opportune time.
Jan, thanks for joining us today. Jan Randolph from IHS Global Insight.